Hi, today we're going to talk about Docker, which is one of the container management application. So what is a container? A container is a standardized unit of software. So previously, before the container were becoming very popular, the applications were installed in virtual machines. So virtual machine usually has an infrastructure, that is the hardware. On top of that, there will be a hypervisor, and you can install one virtual box, second virtual box, and the third virtual box for each of the applications, and that will have its own guest operating system. For example, if this is a virtual box, inside this you can run your Ubuntu, you can run your Windows and Debian. So for Ubuntu, you give 2 to 3 GB of RAM and 10 to 20 GB of hard disk. Similarly for Windows, 2 to 3 GB of RAM and hard disk around 8 to 10 depending on your usage. So by using these virtual boxes, so you are isolating your application inside Ubuntu. So Ubuntu might have one application, Windows might have another application and a server, and Debian might have another application and a server. So this is how you use VirtualBox. Using VirtualBox takes up a lot of your memory and also hard disk, and it is difficult to manage. Docker solves that problem. So what it does is, on top of your infrastructure, so there will be a host operating system, either Ubuntu, Debian, or any of the Linux or Windows operating system. On top of that, you will install a Docker, and you can use Docker images for as many applications as you want. So using this, so you don't need to install guest operating system like you use in VirtualBox here. So let's check what is a container and what is an image. Okay, for that, let's go and look at our shell. So here I have Alpine Linux installed. Inside that I have installed Docker. So I'm using Docker 20.10.2, which is the latest version. So I can check for Docker help, and it gives me all the commands which are available in Docker. So the usage of Docker commands are, you type Docker and the options and then the command. So there are various options here. So we will not get into all the details, but we will take up the most commonest one. So 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 there are containers, there are images. So you need to pull your image from Docker Hub. Okay, if you go to Docker Hub, Docker Hub has got a lot of community contributed containers. Like for example, you have Nginx, MongoDB, Alpine, Node, Redis, and you have Docker also, a container, a Python container, Aerospike, Ubuntu, MySQL. So you can look at all the official commands by going here and searching. So you can also search according to categories, like you want base images. So the base images are available here. So if you want programming language, you can go and look for the programming language. There is Golang, Python, Ruby, Java, PHP, Bash. Also you can search according to your operating system, and what type of architecture you want. So by doing this, you can, let's imagine we want uh, Ubuntu image. Okay, so the Ubuntu image is there, which is updated 16 hours ago, and there are 10 million downloads. We can choose Ubuntu, and it has got 1 billion downloads, and there are various Ubuntu versions. Like for example, if you want 16.04, you can download that. If you want 20.04, we can download that. And also it gives you the details of the image. So let's try to download this image from Docker Hub. So for that, we can copy this and go to our terminal, and let me open one more terminal. Sorry, let me clear. I can type docker pull Ubuntu, and it is going to first check on your local disk whether Ubuntu image is there or not. If it is not there, it is going to pull an image from Docker Hub. So it has downloaded a new image, which is Ubuntu latest. Like for example, so if you use docker pull Ubuntu, it downloads the latest one. If you want a particular version of Ubuntu, you can go search for it and you can download that. Like for example, if I want let's imagine I want 16.04, I can go here, copy that, and I enter that, and Ubuntu 16.04 is being installed. So now 16.04 is pulled. So how do we check these images? So the command is docker images. Okay, so we pulled in Ubuntu latest, then we pulled in Ubuntu 16.04. So similarly, we can pull any other image that you want. Let's imagine I want RStudio. So there are various images. You need to choose what is best for you. So let me go and download RBase from RStudio. I can copy this docker pull RStudio / RBase. So I can type docker pull RStudio / r-base. Docker pull RStudio / r-base. Okay, something is wrong. Now we know that we have two images, and we can start one of our image. Now for starting the image, we can use docker run -it -t, that is interactive, and in daemon Ubuntu latest bin bash. Now we are inside. Now I can check that by using docker ps. So Ubuntu latest is now running. Similarly, we can check docker run -it -t Ubuntu 16.0.4 bin bash. So we can check that by docker ps. So we have two of our Ubuntu 16.04 and latest is running. So how do you stop them? Docker stop. Either I can type the name of the container, like for example I can copy and paste, and this is stopped now. And now let's check docker ps. So that is stopped. I can also stop using docker. I can use the name, that is Zen Darwin. So now if I check docker ps, none of the containers are running, but they have been stopped. To check all the stopped containers, we can use docker ps -a. So now I know docker ps -a, two of those are exited. So now once the containers are exited, so we can also remove them. Docker rm, I can use either the name or the container. I can copy paste the whole of the container name, or I can just type the first three letters A3E and it is stopped. So now if I check docker ps -a, that is gone. Now docker ps docker rm A31. So now let us check docker ps -a. So nothing is running. So let's clear. So none of our dockers are running, and there are no exited containers, and we have two images. Now how do you delete your image? So the command for that is docker rm. So rm remove one or more containers, rmi removes one or more images. So runs it, search. You can search for the docker images, and docker top will see, and docker log, and docker attach, docker create, docker exec, docker history. Okay, let's now go to docker ps, docker images. Okay, let's try to remove an image. Docker rmi, and we can type the whole of the image ID, and it is deleted everything. Now if I go to docker images, it's gone. So now I can also do docker rmi, and instead of typing the whole image ID, I can just type first three characters rmi. Alright, let's type rmi, and that's also gone. Now we don't have any images. So docker logs, nothing is there. So let's go to docker search Ubuntu, and it gives me a lot of image name. So it is alright, this is number of IS stars. Okay, I can go here. Also I can docker search what do you want, Python 3. I got all of these. I can do docker search WordPress. I have WordPress Bitnami. Okay, then I have Docker Search Studio. Alright, I have Rocker or Studio. So for that, I Docker pull Rocker Studio. It's going to pull Rocker Studio. Now Rocker Studio is installed. Let's check the image. So Rocker Studio latest created 5 weeks ago on the server, which is now 1.91 GB. So how do we run this? So clear the screen, Docker images. So we can use docker run -it -t, which is interactive daemon Rocker Studio. Now our studio is running. Let's check docker ps. Okay, so Rocker Studio is running over there. So let's check docker what is it called? So docker top studio, docker ps, docker top 2635. Okay, these are all the services which are running on our studio. So now if I want to get into our studio, how do I get inside? Okay, top is done, and then logs. I need to check logs and info. Okay, docker info 2635. Docker 2635. You must set a unique password for this. First run with. Alright, that was a mistake I made. So let me just run docker run -e, and when I meant password equals your pass 2345 -p 8787 8787 Rocker Studio.